Think you know everything about Coronation Street? Think again. For more than 60 years, the show has been hiding some wonderfully strange secrets. We're talking about names that were almost disasters, pubs that blow up with suspicious regularity, props with secret meanings, and even real-life quirks that changed the storylines. These aren't the usual behind-the-scenes tidbits. They're the kind of weird facts that make you see Weatherfield in a whole new light. So let's dive into 15 of the strangest Coronation Street stories you've probably never heard. When Coronation Street first aired in 1960, the producers weren't even sure it would last 13 episodes. Originally, the show was going to be called Florizel Street. Yes, Florizel. The unusual name was inspired by a Shakespearean prince from The Winter's Tale, which creator Tony Warren thought added a touch of class. But when Granada Television tested it, reactions were poor. One secretary famously said it sounded like the name of a disinfectant, which quickly killed the idea. Others agreed that Florizel sounded out of touch with the working-class characters the show portrayed. Changing it to Coronation Street was one of the smartest decisions in TV history, and that decision almost didn't matter, because the first episode nearly never aired. Coronation Street almost never made it onto screens at all. ITV executives worried the drama was too down-market. Unlike other shows at the time, it focused on factory workers and pub-goers rather than glamorous lifestyles. Tony Warren fought fiercely for his vision, insisting audiences wanted something real. When the first episode aired on December 9th, 1960, over 7 million people tuned in. Within weeks, it was a nationwide hit. The gamble proved historic. Coronation Street didn't just succeed, it reshaped British television, showing there was a huge appetite for stories about ordinary people. Without that leap of faith, soaps as we know them today might never have existed. One of Coronation Street's most recognisable features is the cobbled road itself. But here's the truth, the cobbles aren't what they appear to be. In the early years, the set used genuine cobblestones. They looked authentic, but caused endless problems. Actors tripped, equipment shook, and high heels suffered. Crew members joked that half the bloopers reel consisted of people stumbling over the stones. By the late 1980s, the stones were replaced with specially designed concrete replicas. They looked identical on camera, but were safer and easier to film on. Most fans never noticed the swap, proving how convincing the illusion really was. Even today, visitors on tours are often surprised to learn that the famous street is a TV-friendly reconstruction, rather than the real thing. Soap operas are full of dramatic exits, but few are as strange as Ernst Walder's. Walder, who played Ivan Chevesky, reportedly had hygiene habits that other cast members struggled with. Rather than confront the issue directly, producers simply wrote his character out of the show. No big send-off, no tragic storyline. He just quietly disappeared from Weatherfield. It remains one of the oddest examples of real-life circumstances shaping the fate of a fictional character. It also shows just how quickly behind-the-scenes tensions could spill into the writing room in those early years. William Roach, who plays Ken Barlow, holds a Guinness World Record as the world's longest-serving TV soap actor. He has been on Coronation Street since day one in 1960. When he first accepted the role, Roach assumed it would last a year or two. Instead, he's spent over 6 decades in Weatherfield, navigating countless storylines. Through Ken, viewers have witnessed not just soap drama, but also the changing face of British society, making him a living piece of TV history. For many, Ken Barlow has become the very symbol of Coronation Street itself. The Rover's Return Inn is arguably Britain's most famous fictional pub, and certainly the most accident-prone. Over the years, it has been destroyed or heavily damaged at least 5 times, thanks to fires, explosions, and even car crashes. Writers use the pub as a dramatic centerpiece because it's where the whole community gathers. No matter how many times it falls, the Rovers always rises again, cementing its role as the symbolic heart of the street. Fans even joke that it must be the unluckiest building in Manchester, fictional or not. To celebrate Coronation Street's 50th anniversary in 2010, the cast buried a time capsule under the new set. Inside are scripts, props, and personal notes from cast members. The idea is for future generations of the show's team to one day dig it up, offering a snapshot of Coronation Street in its golden era. It's a fitting tribute for a soap that has always preserved everyday life on screen. Now, quite literally, beneath its cobbles too. Some fans even speculate it may contain cheeky inside jokes from the actors, waiting to be discovered decades later. Outdoor filming gave Coronation Street its authentic look, but it also came with a nuisance: pigeons. These birds regularly swooped into shots, perched on props, or made distracting noises. Crew members often had to chase them away before filming could continue. At one point, producers even considered installing fake owls to deter them. It became such a running problem that cast members learned to pause mid-scene until the pigeons cleared, proving that soap actors need patience as well as talent. For all the drama on screen, sometimes the biggest battle was with local wildlife. On the walls of number 13 lived Hilda Ogden's famous mural and trio of flying ceramic ducks, especially beloved by fans. Behind the scenes, set designers kept the middle duck nosediving on purpose to symbolise the Ogdens' legendary bad luck. Over time, the mural and ducks became iconic. They were merchandised and even immortalised in public art, turning tacky decor into Corrie legend. In 1971, during outdoor filming, a real protest broke out nearby. Demonstrators stormed the area, shouting and making so much noise that filming had to stop. Some of the chaos was even captured on microphones, forcing retakes. For the cast, it was a surreal experience. One minute they were playing a fictional character, the next they were caught up in real-world unrest. It remains one of the strangest days in Coronation Street's production history, and a reminder that filming in real locations sometimes carries very unpredictable risks. In the early years, Coronation Street's writing team occasionally had communication breakdowns. One such slip-up saw a minor character declared dead in one storyline, while another writer was planning to use them again. By the time the mistake was spotted, it was too late. Producers decided to leave the character dead rather than fix the error. It was an embarrassing blunder, but also a reminder of how quickly soap scripts were once turned around. In the fast-paced world of daily television, even death wasn't always final. The Rovers' return sees more pints pulled than almost any pub in Britain, but none of it is alcoholic. Most of the time, the beer is shandy made with lemonade and watered-down low-alcohol lager. Sometimes it's even cold tea for darker drinks. It spares the cast from having to down real alcohol across multiple takes, though fans often marvel at how convincing the 5 pints in performances can be. It's yet another reminder that soap realism is built on clever fakery. Coronation Street has had many famous visitors, but none more prestigious than Queen Elizabeth II. In 1982, the Queen and Prince Philip toured the set in Manchester. She was struck by how small the interiors were compared to how they appeared on television. She even joked that the Rover's return looked like a pub she might happily stop in for a drink. The visit confirmed Coronation Street's place as a true national treasure. The fact that the Queen herself walked the cobbles made it clear just how deeply the show had embedded itself into British culture. Next time you watch those droplet-style opening titles, keep an eye out. A cat curled on a rooftop feature snuck in during the 1970s and stuck around ever since. No one on set noticed it initially, but producer Bill Podmore noticed it later and demanded it be made a permanent fixture. Now, every refilmed opening includes a cat on the roof, a tiny detail that became a cute Corrie signature. Sometimes Coronation Street storylines eerily mirror real life. In 1989, a character bought shares in Air Europe weeks before the real airline collapsed. Viewers were stunned, convinced the writers had insider knowledge. Other uncanny coincidences have popped up over the years, giving the show a reputation for being oddly prophetic. Whether luck or timing, it only adds to Coronation Street's legendary status and the feeling that Weatherfield sometimes exists a step ahead of reality. That is it for this one. 15 surprising facts proving Coronation Street is stranger, funnier, and more unpredictable than you ever imagined. From disappearing characters to exploding pubs, Weatherfield has a history as quirky as its residents. Which of these shocked you the most? Share your pick in the comments, hit like, and subscribe for more untold TV secrets. Because on the cobbles, there's always another story waiting.